Hey guys and girls, what's going on? Episode 38? 38?
38?
All right, yes. I was making sure. That was a confirmation. I was asking for it.
I was like, that sounds like a question. Is that to me?
Yes, yeah, he's right. He's right. I'm just going to let him think that. Anyway, welcome to episode 38 of Down the Scope, the gaming podcast you can't miss. As you know, I'm Veridia, and I'm here with my co-host Jason, or Anakin.
Or whatever else. I think I've actually gained a few new nicknames since my Battlefield 3 podcast a couple of weeks ago.
And this is supposed to be a child-friendly cast, so we won't.
We won't talk about those other names.
Yeah, but yeah. So this week we actually have a special guest. He is one of Anakinn's closest friends, and he is a longtime listener of the cast, and he's got some knowledge about some shit that I don't even know about. But his name is Absog. How you doing, man?
Hey guys, how's it going?
So let's get a little bit about you, man. So you actually do listen to me and Jason talk a lot of shit.
Yeah, I sit through a long cast that you guys do every week. I've listened to every one of them, so far.
Jesus Christ! You know, I think you are probably the first adult that I know that has listened to every one of them.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I just imagine. I don't know why, but I imagine most of our viewers are they're younger. They are.
Yeah.
By the way, this is an epic moment. By the way, Veridia, you don't know this, but I am currently not the oldest on this cast.
Oh shit, you're older than Jason?
Yep.
I couldn't tell because his Skype picture actually has long locks of hair.
Exactly.
About a year and 2 months older. So
yeah. He's getting closer to 40 than I am.
Yeah, it won't be long.
Well, today we are going to be talking quite a bit about Battlefield 3 because it just released and it's in the news and we know that Anakin has been just completely destroyed over his views of the beta, and he has a lot of talk to back up because he had a comment war on that video on that podcast with a lot of people. He had unsubscriptions, which was totally ridiculous. So we're gonna later on in the cast we are going to get to him and Absog just kind of talking about their experience. I can't say anything because I haven't played it. I have not bought into it yet. But as you guys know, I told you I had 3 games that I was going to buy, and Dark Souls, Skyrim, and MW3 were those games I chose. So yeah, I might pick it up later if I find it cheaper. It's not that I'm a COD fanboy. It's just that I know that game better than Battlefield. So, in any case, guys, I was wondering if I could just take a second and read you just an amazing piece of art. It was a poem almost that was sent to me the other day.
I haven't heard this either, by the way. This is going to be great because I'm going to hear this live on the air. Veridia told me about this. He said this is the greatest thing ever, and I cannot wait to hear this.
So the other day I was going through my messages and I ran upon this, and I thought personally this was like the most awesome message I ever got from a troll. First of all, I'm going to read this as he wrote it, so please, I'm not mispronouncing anything. He says, "Why did I stumble apping this?" Now, what he meant to say was, "Why did I stumble upon this?" That was the tag. He says, "Don't judge this instantaneously by the subject, but I will say that you have misconception as to the basics of what is commentary/podcast. As if..." I'm sorry.
Is English his first language?
I'm like, what? Wait, hold on. This is going to get good. It's as if you can't tell what you and your channel are trying to do other than waste people's time. Don't take that as if I'm trolling.
Oh, my God.
All you do when it comes to game is reach out toward other mindless mainstream entertainment. Try to get as many views as possible by acting like an he spelled this completely wrong, by the way. I had to figure out what he spelled. Intellectually unchallenged and unscripted person. And lastly, refuse to understand within the basic knowledge to conceive the reason of differences in the gaming industry.
I guarantee you it took him a month to write this.
I know. Oh, I know. While I may not like your channel and videos, don't take this as an offense, but take this as constructive criticism. I give Viridia Guru 22 a 5.4 out of 10.
What?
Good Lord.
What the hell kind of scale is that? Who uses?
I was curious myself. I was just like, I was scratching. Well, at first I died laughing. I was just in rags. I was like, oh my God, this is great. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, normally I would rip this guy a new asshole, but this was just too good. I couldn't help it. And so I replied to him. I said, ha ha, oh my God, this was great. It made my week. I said, I'm just assuming you're joking. This is priceless. And he replied, yes, I was joking, but I still hate your videos. And so I just couldn't believe it, man. It was absolutely brilliant that he came up with this. So I responded. I said, wrong. Haha, you weren't joking, dipshit. You were serious. Here's a tip. Having an opinion is okay. I completely respect if somebody doesn't like my videos or my channel, but before you troll somebody like that, at least take the time to read what you were sending to make sure you haven't made yourself sound like a complete retard. You can't even spell words, stumble, and upon in your subject line. It's pretty funny to see someone also use words that they don't understand, like misconception. You clearly don't know what that means, seeing as my conception of the way I do things is clearly my own, therefore how can it be a misconception? Raffle, dude. Come on. I'm sorry if I've done something to piss you off or something, but please, for your own sake, man, stop sending these to people if you haven't already. You really make yourself out to be a complete total dipshit.
I have a name for those people, by the way. I've actually met a lot of these people, not really through YouTube as much, but believe it or not, a lot in my personal life. I call them pseudo-intellectuals. They they sit around and they try to use words that they think they know the meaning of, and they try to use as many multi-syllable words as they can to try to sound as intelligent as they can. And they all sit around and they kind of like go, let's see, what intelligent conversation can I talk about now? And they come up with some ridiculous topic that nobody cares about, like quantum mechanics or something, and they act like they're an enthusiast of this topic. And I'm just like, oh God, I have to leave the room. I can't even deal with those kind of individuals.
That is this guy to the max. I mean, if you really dissect what he had said, none of it makes much sense. You can see where he wants to go with it, but just because you got a thesaurus beside you doesn't mean that you're an intelligent person. So, man, I appreciate, I really do. I laughed. I've let like 17 of my friends read this. I was just like, you guys have to see this. They got enjoyment out of it. We all had a good time reading it. So thanks very much for that. It's going in the archives. Anyway, now that that's off my chest, I just want to let him know that he gets a 0.1 out of 10 from me. He has no
You get a 0.1? That's great. That's awesome.
I know that. His channel has nothing on it, but he has like one subscriber, so he's done something right. And I'm going to assume that's not his mom. But anyway,
that's his second account.
I do have a few other things I want to talk about. First of all, I've been playing and loving Rage, by the way.
Oh, really?
I have. Now I do have a gripe with it. The texture pop in is absolutely atrocious.
Absolutely, it's horrible.
I mean, it is so bad.
It doesn't get much better on PC, by the way.
Well, and see, that's the problem. I actually read that it's a little bit better on PC.
It's still not. I mean, it's jarringly bad. Even I don't care what platform it is. Even PC has got problems with that.
Yeah, it's pretty awful. The thing is like, I've been playing that 3DS, so my eyes are already shit. So if I just blur my eyes just a bit, I can't tell when I turn around that there's no texture. So I've actually been enjoying the gunplay, man. I really do. I thought I wasn't going to like it because there was supposedly some RPG. There's no RPG elements to this at all.
No, none.
No, it's basically instead of picking up an item, sometimes you pick up parts of an item, and then later on you'll be like, oh shit, I can make 6 RC cars.
Right.
And be excited instead of like, okay, I found 6 RC cars. That's pretty much it. But the gunplay is really cool. It's got a nice level of challenge to me. I'm actually kind of enjoying it. I really do. It's got that old-fashioned just shooting shit.
Oh well, that was kind of my problem, as they marketed it as a this crazy modern shooter with all these RPG elements and all these other problems, all these features that I was kind of looking forward to, and then I get it, and it's like, wait a minute. this feels like, Doom 3 or something, and it basically is,
Yeah, it absolutely is not a BioShock slash
No.
Borderlands. It is its own game, and in its own, and it's right. It is really taken from its old grounds and saying, okay, yeah, we're gonna throw some Doom in there. We're gonna throw this in there. I've even found myself, the game has a full featured ADS system. I have not used it, but like twice.
You don't need to.
No, it's just like, I mean, you feel like Rambo just running through there. You don't even have to aim your gun, and I'm like, this is. It just goes to show you that the way their game is playing, it's just meant to not even have that ADS system unless you're sniping.
Right.
But anyway, I've been enjoying that. And my last thing is I want to bitch a little bit more about IGN. I know we tore my asshole last week, but they really pissed me off. They actually, I don't know if you've seen this on their YouTube channel. So we haven't. Have you played the game yet?
Which one?
Uncharted 3.
No, not 3. I mean, it's not out.
It's not out. You're right.
Yeah.
So what they did was they've already started a walkthrough of Uncharted 3.
You've got to be kidding me. I've not seen this.
They're damn near all the way through it on their channel with a full walkthrough. Now, why does this piss me off? One, that's how I gain views and subscribers, is by being the first to do these games, do the walkthroughs. That's one reason. Yeah, I'm kind of pissed. Second of all, why the hell is anybody wanting to watch this? And now, what's really making me mad is that these videos have thousands of views on them. Who the heck is watching these?
That is ridiculous.
Who is ruining an experience of potentially one of the best games of the year by watching IGN's ass? And evidently there's no commentary over it, so it's just a straight play. Who is ruining their time by watching this? Now I got a message on my update video. Somebody was like, well, Rudy, you got to understand, some of us don't have PS3s. Yeah, okay, I get it. You don't have a PS3, you can't play the game, but that's bullshit that you get to experience it before I do.
Yeah, true.
I can't even play the damn game. This is one of this is one of the reasons I bought a PS3 was for the Uncharted series.
Me too.
Okay, and I know that this game is going to be epic, and these guys are just sitting here throwing it away. Now, is that not? I would figure that there would be some kind of like embargo or something. You know what I mean?
I think they get away with it because they're IGN. That's got to be it. I mean, this is nonsense, though. Why in the world, even then, why would Naughty Dog want their game, which is a story-driven game?
Yeah, exactly.
Why would they want this publicized out there? For people. I mean, obviously PS3 owners most likely are going to buy this game anyway because, just like you and I just said, a lot of PS3 owners consider this to be one of the flagship franchises on that console. But, I mean, you're still talking about, I go to IGN, I try to avoid stuff like that at this point. I mean, especially for Uncharted. Battlefield, you can go play Battlefield. You can go play Modern Warfare. You can go play, all these action games with multiplayer. No one cares. You can go watch videos of that all day long. But, my God, of all games out there, Uncharted does not need to be experienced before you pick up the controller yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, and not only that, it's one of those things like once it's an experience. I don't even know how to call it. I've experienced this so many times in games where your first experience with it's kind of like doing. No, I'm not going to use that. I was going to say it was like doing drugs, but it's
I thought you were going to go even deeper. I thought you were going to say, well, it's like having sex the first time. It's like
before that, that's better than where I was going. So it's like that's how low into the pits of just disgust and filth I was going. But it's like doing something for the first time. It's never going to be as awesome the second time around. That first initial thrill is going to just be like, oh my God. So I'll tell you what, in Uncharted 2, when that car starts chasing you down the building and you're running through, he's running toward the camera, kind of like Crash Bandicoot style.
Yep.
I was all about that. I was like, oh crap, I'm sitting there, I don't know what to do. I know what to do the second time. I've experienced it. It's not the same for me. And you're sitting there and of course you don't have to watch the video, but it's there. It's there for you to watch, and a lot of these people are watching it and they're putting it out there just tempting people and taking away that number one slot. It's going to be number one until Monday.
Yep.
If you type in let's play or walkthrough of Uncharted, it's going to be there. And guess what? Mine will be covered up by Ghost Robo, who does the same thing sometimes. All these other people who just, they somehow get these games early, and it just chaps my ass. And to tell you the truth, Anakin, if I could get the game early, I wouldn't. It would be just immoral for me to do that. I wouldn't do it.
I agree.
I would wait for the release date, before I posted anything about the game, because if you're going to watch a Let's Play of it, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I can't play it, and that's what's driving. It's just chapping my ass right now. I can't believe it.
Well, it does shock me. Again, like I said, I mean, from the developer and the publisher standpoint, why would they allow IGN to do this? It doesn't quite, there's, well, I mean, what's in it for IGN other than monetization of the video views?
That it seems like, honestly, I guarantee you IGN now makes more money from YouTube than even their own site.
I believe it.
I mean, if you think about it, I mean, what are they at? Like like 1.4 billion views.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of cash. And these guys are just sitting there rolling in the views. I mean, it just pisses me off. They have to have their own department of like 20 people that just upload all day.
Yep, absolutely.
They upload so much content. They're at like 74,000 uploads.
Oh my God!
Yeah, did you not know that?
No.
Yeah, they hit 70-some thousand uploads like 3 months ago. They're already at like 74,000 or something.
Jeez, I'm only going to get that by the end of the year. Yeah, right. By the way, I got to get started making videos, so I got to cut this short. I'll see you later.
Here's just a way to look at it. If they were to stop uploading videos right now, they would make more than your parents. If you're not old enough to work, they would make more money than your parents do in a year just by not even uploading videos, just off of the videos they already have up online. If everybody viewed that video, each video, like 5 times, they would have more money than your parents make in a year.
Probably.
Guarantee you. They are a tier 1 director. I guarantee you they are straight partner with YouTube. They take a 50% cut of the initial payout. Now I'm getting off track. I'm talking about stuff that a lot of people don't know about, but still, they're making a lot of money. So, I mean, putting these videos up and thinking, oh, we got to be the first to do this, you're stealing the thunder from the people who need to be, who need to be seen.
Yeah, there's obviously no way that, standard YouTube directors can compete with that. I mean, we can't get games early. I mean, there's a lot of misconception out there that, some of these big YouTube guys, obviously not us, but, some of these really big guys that have 500,000 subscribers and stuff, if they're not already not just partnered, but they have to actually be in, the company, in like really deep within the corporation of Machinima or the Game Station or somebody, to be able to get games early or to be able to get samples or, to get hardware or something like that. I mean, this, these guys, even with 100,000 views, I mean, they're not getting that kind of stuff. I mean,
well, and even then, if you're not part of it, you have to do something mischievous to get it, like steal it.
Right, exactly.
I mean, you like the guy. I don't know if you heard this story about the guy who got a copy of the second disc of the PC version of MW3.
Yep.
And they caught him playing online, and they fined him $5,000, and they took away his online privileges forever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean,
it's just like
hardcore.
I mean, that's right, man. I think that's right. I mean, I would never steal to get the game. I mean, I thought about it. Believe me, when I worked at Toys R Us for like a year, and I sat there, and every day for like 2 months, I walked back there, and like Modern Warfare is sitting there, and I'm just like, the first Call of Duty 4, I was just like, that game looks really good. I would love to have a copy, and I wouldn't steal it. That's just immoral. Now, if somebody had stolen it already, I'm not gonna lie. I might, I'd be like, all right, I'll play it. But anyway, so we had a pretty big release this week. I guess it was Tuesday. We had a big release. That was Battlefield 3, and
that's right, yeah.
Anakinnnn, you pre-ordered it. I did, but I got tied up with some other stuff, and I haven't been able to play it. And Absog, you I guess you played it as well.
Right, I pre-ordered it Sunday actually. But, yeah, I ended up getting it as well.
So let me ask you something, Absog. Let me ask you, how did you take the beta? Did you play the beta?
The beta was awful, and I pretty much agree with Anakinnnn on pretty much every point. I played the Xbox beta, I played the PC beta. They had problems, but after that's all over with and the game's out, I'm actually happy with the gameplay as it is now. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's some things I do not like about it, but overall, at least the gameplay itself is pretty good.
So did they change anything with the multiplayer at all?
Well, the difference in the beta really it was a lot of a lot of glitches, and I don't see any of those glitches now. So that's a good thing. Uh, Obviously, the first night or the first day even was pretty bad as far as servers. You couldn't log in. Even if you did, it was very brief. You couldn't even get through a match. But
Right.
the second night and last night, I haven't played tonight at all. But the last 2 nights have been no problems. I haven't had a dropped game. Maybe once. I think last night there was a little bit of lag, and I may have had a one drop game, but it was real brief. Got right
Right.
back in.
Well, I mean, I like I said, Anakin, I can't talk on it. So you kind of I don't know. I guess you kind of still agree with yourself, right?
Well, here's the thing. I want to clarify something here, by the way, because obviously I said, in fact, I even titled that podcast a couple of weeks back right after the beta came out. I said, thanks DICE for saving me $60. I'm not buying your game. This demo slash beta, was just a train wreck. I don't believe a lot of these problems are going to be fixed. Now, of course, I'm not going to get into all the arguments about whether the beta was, from 1987 or whether it was from a week before. There was all kinds of things that people were saying. 99%, by the way, was untrue. I still go back and I still can find all of the original dialogues between the DICE community manager and some of the other people involved that said the beta was no more than 2 weeks old whenever they submitted it to Xbox. Okay, and what we played is what they had at that time. Now, you know, we can still agree, no matter what, that the beta was an extremely poor portrayal of what the final gameplay was going to be. Okay, now I knew that. I knew that this game was not going to be released in that state. All right, but I also knew, just based on that beta alone, that it wasn't going to be released in a good state either.
Right.
Now, let me tell you what happened. Okay, I said I am not going to get this game. I'm going to wait. I'm going to watch from the sidelines, and I'm going to see what a train wreck this release is. Well, then Amazon pulled a fast one, because I'm always up for a deal. I've talked about deals 100 times, okay, and I'm always a cheap ass. Absog can vouch for that. But
Indeed.
in fact, I talked him into it because he and I. It's funny because Absog and I we've known each other forever. We game together. We go to lunch. Several times a week. We talk to each other through lunch. We talk about games every day. I mean, it's basically like Down the Scope. The sequel every week during lunch. So we talk about all this stuff. And that's why I wanted him here to really talk about his take on Battlefield 3 as well. Here's what happened. Amazon on Friday, we had decided, me and Absog both had decided, among various other friends of mine, we had all decided, you know what, we're going to pass. We're not going to buy it. And finally, Amazon on Friday night, of last week, they came out with a special deal that said you get $20 Amazon credit. But it was only on the Xbox or the PS3 version, not the PC version. We had decided we were only going to buy the PC because really, that's really how Battlefield should be played. I mean, it's a PC oriented game, and man, let me tell you, the controls, they really do favor PC. It's not the greatest on console, but it's not terrible either. They did a fine job porting it. But here's the deal: I sat there and I thought, God, $20 off. That makes it $40 because $20 Amazon credit for me is almost as good as cash. So
Right.
$20 off. You buy it for 40. Okay, you buy it for 60, but you get your $20, all right? But anyway, for me, I can sell this game for $30 right now. No questions asked.
Right.
So I thought, all right, I've got very minimal investment here. So I said, you know what? And I talked to Absog. We talked about it. We talked about it on Skype. We talked about it on Xfire. We talked about it at lunch. We talked about it over the weekend, and we were like, God dang it. I said, all right, man, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it because you know what? I want to do this because of that podcast 2 weeks ago, because everybody is convinced that this game is going to launch perfectly, that everything that we experienced in the beta and the demo was not going to come true. And I said, you know what? if they're right, I've got nothing to lose, and I'm going to love it. If
Right.
they're wrong, then all I got to do is say, "Told you, sucker." So here's the deal: in the shortest word possible here, in the shortest phrase possible, I actually have to sit in the middle on this one. Some of you were right. Some of the things that I really complained about are indeed fixed. Okay, they obviously put out a version that was fixed. However, there are a list. I could write a thesis on the number of problems right now that exist with Battlefield 3. And again, I've tried to get my point across 100 times. Absog once again can verify this. I love this franchise. He and we played on PC. We played Battlefield 1942. Absog, tell him what your fondest memory of us playing Battlefield 1942.
Oh man, it's always grouping up, getting a Jeep together. Doesn't matter who's driving. Now I'll tell you, if you get in a Jeep when Anakin is driving, be prepared to just laugh because, and he really drives like that in real life too. So we joke about that all the time. It's pretty erratic. It's pretty crazy. Although I said the first time we get in a Jeep together and I'm driving, I'm going to drive you straight off a cliff. And anyway, it's always a good time. It's fun. And really, Battlefield 3 and all the Battlefield franchise is always fun with friends especially. And that's another point we were talking about. Anakin said he wasn't having a whole lot of fun last night. And I was actually been having fun the last couple nights. I haven't been playing with him because he's been dealing with other things, but so we kind of been separated here the last couple nights. But I did have fun the last couple of nights playing it by myself, pretty much solo. I jump in a squad here or there, or whatever, with people I don't know. Most people are not using mics. I noticed I was the only one out of a full multiplayer group that even had my mic showing up. I'm like, where is everybody? So really, that's where the fun is, and I think Anakin will have a whole lot more fun once he and I can get in and maybe even get some other people we know and sit there and talk, and that's really where it's going to be fun.
That's the problem with Battlefield, I find, is that with me, that's why I didn't jump on it immediately, is that you really do have to have a squad in order to enjoy a Battlefield game. I mean, I have found.
It's true. It's very, very team oriented. Call of Duty. Regardless. I don't even know why we compare these two games because they really are so unbelievably different. But the problem is they are vying for the same dollars. They want your money, and for whatever reason there is this dividing line in gaming right now between these two games, and it's such a shame because they are just totally different games. Call of Duty favors the individual. Okay, even though, yes, you can play as a team for team deathmatch and you can work together as a group for domination and all the other game modes and objectives, obviously, if you're a group gamer or a team player, you can get by in Call of Duty and you can do that as well. But obviously, we're not all on the same schedule. We want a game and we want to get in and we want to play. And Call of Duty favors the individual overall because you can choose to play as an individual or as a team.
Well, and even in team deathmatch, you don't. You're still competing with your own team for the most kills most of the time.
True.
There's hardly anybody who goes into a TDM anymore and they're playing with a team.
Exactly.
And you even have the mercenary team deathmatch where you cannot be in a party beforehand. It literally will throw you into a random group.
Right.
And it's almost like solo team deathmatch where you're just like, all right, yeah, you're on my team. I'm competing against you to get the most kills. That's all. That's what it comes down to.
Exactly. And in Battlefield, it's just, you cannot be the lone wolf. Okay, it doesn't work. The game, you can sit and you can say, okay, I'm going to be a sniper and I'm going to help my team out, but I'm not going to talk with anybody and I'm just going to sit over in the bush and shoot people as they try to come take the point. Yes, you can do that. Okay. I'm sure there'll be a bunch of people going, Anakin, you're an idiot, you don't jump on individuals, play fine. But here's the deal, okay? Really, overall, the game is extremely enjoyable for team play. And, I don't know what is going on Xbox. We ended up, Absog and I bought the Xbox version. We got into a squad. We've played with a couple of other friends of mine from my channel. It's been enjoyable because we're all in the same squad. Now, here's the problem, okay? It looks like a lot of people playing Battlefield are most likely in a party, like an Xbox Live party,
Right.
not in a squad group or some kind of team talk. Because within Battlefield, it just seems like a lot of people don't know even about this feature. But when you're in a squad, you can set the voice over IP channel to be squad, team, or off. Okay?
Right.
And in this case, squad is the default, regardless of whether you're in a squad. So if you're
Right.
not in a squad, that's really a problem.
Yeah.
But if you're in a squad, it seems like that's obviously working. But the biggest issue is you cannot. You can create your own squad within the game, but you can't. It's broken on Xbox right now. Okay, if you try to create a squad, which I did in the game, I've done this several times. This is why I know it's broken. Okay, if you go into the game and you don't have your squad created ahead of time, if you go into the game and you say, okay, put me in a squad, you're in a squad. All right, well, oh crap, this is not the squad I want to be in. I'm going to create my own squad and invite my friends. Hey guys, come and join my squad. I go down and, for example, the last one that they allow is Hotel. They start at A and they go all the way down through H. Hotel is the name of the last squad that you can create, and it had 0 out of 4. I like, okay, cool. I'm going to start this. Basically, you start a new squad by joining an empty squad that they allow. So
Right.
I join Hotel. I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to start Squad Hotel, and I'm going to click Invite a Friend. Guess what Invite a Friend does?
What's that?
Invite a Friend opens up your friend Xbox menu. Now, you would think, well, okay, well, that makes perfect sense, right? No. You see your friend list as if you would press the Xbox button. It pushes the friend list Xbox dashboard menu.
Right.
Well, if you go choose somebody, it's just like you would press the Xbox button and you went to the friends list and you said, here's a friend, and you pick.
So there's no Xbox, there's no invite button. Is that what you're saying?
There is an invite button, but it's screwed up because it takes you to your Xbox friends list, and the thing is, it's not in game. What I'm
Right.
getting at is like, this works the same way no matter what game you're in. You press the Xbox button on your controller, and up comes your friends list. Well, what can you do in your friends list? You can send them a message. You can, look at their gamer profile. You can do it. It has nothing to do with Battlefield. You cannot do anything. You can't invite them, even if they're in the same game. You can't invite them to the squad that you just created.
Wow.
So it's
Interesting.
broken. Okay, so that was the first problem that I came across. Here's the other deal. Okay, and you're gonna love this video because this is unbelievable. And Absog and I mean, we are beside ourselves. We talked about this at lunch. We talked about it online. We talked about it in the game. Get this, okay? How does a game go to market with this feature, okay? You join a match. You get in. And by the way, just so I clarify so everybody doesn't come out of the woodwork and say, okay, Anakin, you're an idiot, I want to clarify the last thing I just talked about. You can create a squad beforehand, before you get into a game. And if the squad leader goes and joins a server, the rest of the squad goes with them, which is very nice, by the way. I think that's very awesome. Kudos
that
to
part
them for
works.
that. And it works, and I'm very happy about that. So just so everybody knows, yes, if you create a squad first before you ever even get into a game, it works extremely well. You join as a squad, everything's great, okay? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, moving on, however, let's say you've done that. You get into a server. You got your squad, and everything's cool, man. Oh, man, this is awesome. I'm having a great time flying around, crashing helicopters, having a blast, okay? We get our asses handed to us. Oh, man, boy, that other team, boy, they're sure working together as a team. We're noobs. We're going to back out of this server and go to another server. While we're looking at the scoreboard after the match has ended, guess what?
What?
You can't do anything.
What?
Nothing. You can't do anything.
So you're just stuck.
You are stuck unless you want a dashboard.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Basically in the game completely.
Not just in the game. I mean, go back to the Xbox dashboard completely out of it. So here's what
Wow.
happens now. Okay. Now you're like, well, guys, we have our squad. We need to leave. We don't want a dashboard, for crying out loud. So now we wait a minute for the next game to start. It's either 45 seconds or a minute, but I thought it was 45 seconds, but last night I noticed it was longer than that. So anyway, you wait the entire time staring at the screen. There's nothing you can do. All you can do is go through your medals and crap, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You start the next match. Now remember, now you got a full server. Everybody's cool. It's 24 on, or 12 on 12, whatever it is. 24 on 24. I forget what it is right now. Oh no, it's not 24 on 24. Yeah, not on Xbox. So it's 12 on 12. Everybody's great. Now here's a squad of 4 who want to leave. The game starts, and now boom! All of a sudden, we get into the game. You got to. By the way, you got to wait another 15 seconds for the game to launch because you're sitting there staring at the countdown menu. You can't do anything then either. All you can do is look at your spawn point. And now the game starts. Okay, now you're a minute and a half into the next game. Okay, you've spent a minute and a half trying to get into the next game when you don't even want to be there. Now you say, hey, squad, okay, everybody leave. Now everybody leaves. Okay, that game you all just left, now the other team that you just left is completely handicapped because they're starting off with less players. 4 less in this case if you leave with a whole squad.
Right.
And the other team, obviously, if they're going, if they got their stuff together, now all of a sudden they've already got the head start. They've got all the people, and they go out and capture the points quicker, or they go and do whatever, or team deathmatch, whatever the case. Okay. So now we've spent a minute and a half just trying to get out of the game. Now you got to get your squad back together, and you got to re-invite everybody to the squad because it doesn't keep your squad together when you leave. And now the squad leader has to go get another server, and you hope that server will be one that you can actually hang out in and play multiple games for a period of time. So the thing is, at this point, how in the world, their claim now was 10 million beta players.
Right.
10 million people played the beta. And not a single person said, wow, I'd sure like to leave this game before the next match started. Could you imagine in Call of Duty if you sat there, listened to all the crap talk from the other players during the entire time you're in the lobby, and you couldn't leave until the next game started?
Yeah, that would be. I can see that being pretty freaking annoying.
It's
honestly.
annoying. Okay, now and this is the thing. Let me because I know I want Absog to chime in on some of this because he and I talked about a lot of the things that we felt like were problems that we wanted to resolve or that we'd like to see fixes for. Here's the thing. When Battlefield is working, when you're in the game, you've got a squad, everybody is playing and things are moving, it is fun. It really is. I enjoy it. I had a good time with it. Now, when you're not in a squad, I do have to say I was kind of not really engaged. I mean, I was just, nobody's talking. I think everybody's in party chat or something. There's not really, if you're not working with anybody, you're just kind of jumping in a vehicle and you're kind of going to take a point. You don't really know what the rest of the team's doing. It's just not really all that engaging because you're just kind of, again, it's that lone wolf scenario that doesn't really work in that game's favor. But if you've got it going on, you got your squad going, the team's going well, the lag is non-existent, it's great. Okay, it plays really well. Most, not all, most of the things that I complained about, like your character cartwheeling off when you killed them up in the air. I haven't seen any flying tanks yet, although I did crash headlong. I had a tank on boost that I crashed into a Jeep coming right at me from the enemy. Neither one of us exploded, and we rubber band together for probably 20 seconds until I finally ran over the top of them. But
there's been none of that because I've been testing that little theory. I've been ramming stuff with tanks and
I got
stuff. I haven't seen
video. I got it on video, and I am gonna post it. Okay. But here's the deal. There's been these are nitpicks really. I'm really nitpicking the gameplay at this point, and there's no reason for me to because the game really does play pretty well. The biggest issue here is the interface. The interface is an absolute atrocious monster. It is terrible, and just so many of the things that I've been mentioning here, like the squad building or the ability to even leave a match or something. It's absolutely atrocious. It's just it's to me for a $60 blockbuster title. It is nearly unforgivable to have those kinds of problems when getting into a game. Now, Absog, you give your take and tell me. I know that you and I have talked about it a little bit, but tell the audience before you even talk about this. By the way, I want you to say a little bit about your history of gaming, just so they know where you're coming from and all the times you've played, what game consoles you had. Tell everybody a little bit about you, before you talk about Battlefield 3, so they know at least where you're coming from and that I haven't influenced you in any way.
Well, I've been a gamer well before I've ever met Anakin.
Yeah.
Even though we go way back from early high school. I mean, I started with Pong. So that is the very first
Video
game console
very first video game. Yep.
ever, that that I know of. um, so I remember in my parents' house we had that machine, and the house that's still standing over there. I can remember that. I remember that as long ago as it was. I remember sitting in the living room, seeing that, thinking, "Wow, what in the world do we got here?" And of course, that didn't last too long. That kind of gets boring, and then I don't remember too much else about it. Obviously, Nintendo was to follow, would be the next thing,
Nice.
and I was in on that.
You just made a friend in Viridia.
Immediately. I mean, obviously Nintendo was probably my first real console. I'm gonna say Mario, Zelda, Metroid. I mean, those were my games, and to this day. I've purchased every Nintendo ever made, and those were always default games that I've always purchased for that system, pretty much alone. That's what I even buy them for now. Any other games for it, I really don't care about any other games. I like those. I pretty much like those.
Wait! Come on! Imagine horse riding is like amazing. That's one of the best games for the Wii right now.
You can get
I
that
think
on
I'm
Xbox.
gonna pass for that. Yeah, of course, and I've owned every console out there. Every Sega, Dreamcast. What was that other one?
Jaguar?
Well,
No.
I think I didn't own that one.
You didn't have the Genesis?
I did have the Genesis.
Hmm. What was the Dreamcast, Genesis, GameCube?
Yeah, GameCube,
I don't know.
Super NES, all that stuff.
Original PlayStation?
Original PlayStation, PlayStation 2, 3, original Xbox 360. Pretty much all that.
Yeah.
So I'm a seasoned gamer. I play all genres. Now, back from when WoW came out, I guess that was my big break in MMOs. Even though I did try some of the other ones out there.
Some? You've tried them all. We're going to talk about it near the end of this.
I have tried them all. But I guess that was my big one. But that's not the only type of game. Adventure games. That's really my biggest field. Legend of Zelda. That's probably just one of my all-time favorite franchises. I have to say, not to be my favorite games of all time, but just overall my favorite franchise, I guess.
Yeah.
But as franchises go, we started way back. You and I played Battlefield when it first showed up on the scene. Battlefield 42. That's when you and I were doing a lot of PC gaming.
Right. I was kind of later in the PC gaming. I don't know. I say later. I guess I've been a PC gamer since 1990.
Probably 97, 98.
98 maybe.
Yeah.
90. Well, maybe it's 96, 97. Somewhere around in there, but I was always a console gamer, and I've kind of gone back to console gaming now just because of the way games are made. It seems like they're made for console,
and
they just seem to work better. But that's pretty much just
that's about gaming. That's your gaming. Yeah, that's your gaming take. Now, obviously, all the audience out there. I mean, we've talked about. I know Viridian and I have talked about it. He wasn't doing a lot of PC gaming, but I have the whole history of the entire Battlefield franchise, and so do you. We didn't miss any Battlefield game, right? We both played.
We pretty much played every one of them. Any mods that were out, we got those.
Exactly.
I mean, that was to me. I think that was a pretty good breakthrough game for us.
Absolutely. It was a game changer. I mean, really, for PC gaming, it came out right around the time that there was not really any awesome online gaming, going on. I mean, you had things like, there were some. For PC gaming at the time, consoles really hadn't adopted the online multiplayer yet. And even for online stuff, I mean, you had some of the Half-Life, you had Counter-Strike really was the king of online multiplayer at that point when Battlefield hit. And Battlefield was just this game changer. I mean, it was just huge. Battlefield 1942, there was nothing like it that had ever been on the market. I mean, they had 64-player servers. They had all kinds of vehicles all existing in the same maps. All kinds of insanity going on. It was a massive game changer. So, having said all that, I want people out there listening to know your background is very, very similar to mine, but I wanted them to hear your take on the current Battlefield 3, and I want you to kind of do some comparisons about what we've seen from. I mean, and this is the same developer. This is not the Call of Duty problem where you got Treyarch versus Infinity Ward, or even now, of course, we're throwing in Sledgehammer Games and some of these other people that are influencing how Call of Duty is made. This is all DICE from the beginning all the way till now. These guys are a seasoned developer. So what in the world has changed since Battlefield 1942? Tell me your initial take on Battlefield 3. Our experiences, you and I experienced some of the issues Tuesday night during the launch for Xbox. Let's talk about some of that. You tell me your take on the game as a whole and some of the things that you can tell everybody about what you and I experienced when it comes to the interface and some of the other issues with the servers and so forth.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the only gripe, I mean, it's really minor. I mean, it's things that you think that, I don't know. I think the thing is we're all pretty critical. Being gaming as long as we all have, we get pretty critical on things, and we expect a lot of easier interface. The gameplay is excellent. I think it's great. The overall sound engine,
Excellent's a little strong.
I think the sound engine is great. We had an issue with Black Ops. We didn't really care for the sound engine that they implemented. It just didn't sound right. I don't think there's any kind of problem like that in Battlefield 3. The gameplay looks great. Obviously, the PC version looks way better, especially if you have a nice computer rig and everything. But it still looks great as far as Xbox goes. It looks pretty good.
Now, what about some of the things we experienced though launch night? Now let me mention something. The audience before, and Veridia, you and I talked about this. We were talking about 0-day launch patches for games. Now here's the deal. Everybody out there was like, "Oh my God, Anakin! They already said, you're an idiot. They already said they're going to launch. The launch day is going to have a huge patch. It's going to fix everything. It's going to solve world peace." So here's the deal.
We didn't see a big patch.
Do you know the size of the 0-day launch patch? The size of it. Let me just tell you. Let me tell you. It was 108K. Okay. 108K was the patch that I got on Xbox, gang. Now, I don't know what you guys got on PC. I don't know what came on PS3, okay? But it tells you the size of the patch on the Xbox. And let me tell you what is in 108K of code. Not a whole damn lot, gang. Okay, so here's the deal. The game came out. It's obviously working. It's not bad. The gameplay, just like Absog was saying, the gameplay is extremely good. I still think it's flawed. It's got some issues. I actually have some video that shows that there's some pretty heavy issues. But again, this was mostly launch night. Now let me tell you what my experience was launch night. I get home. I actually had to come home early that day from lunch. I was meeting my Time Warner individual here in my neighborhood. My internet was going out that day. So I got all that fixed up just in time for Battlefield. So I was so happy about that. And I jump online. I get my 108K patch after I loaded the textures on the Xbox for the high-res, high-definition art. I get everything squared away, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to jump on in. Woo! Here we go. I put the game in, and it says cannot connect to EA servers. I'm like, oh, Jesus. Okay, we just played this game 2 weeks ago. I never experienced that during the beta. Do you know? I don't think anybody did. Now, what in the heck happened in 2 weeks to suddenly make the servers crash when they already knew how many people were going to be playing this game? I don't know. It's a gripe. It's a small gripe. It's obviously a fairly major black eye for them. on a launch to suddenly have all the servers down. And this was not Xbox. This was for all platforms. All their servers started crashing like crazy. They tweeted about it. They updated people as much as they could. This went on all night. Okay,
I think PC took the worst hit though.
PC was the worst. That's right, because Origin couldn't run at all. And if you couldn't run Origin, you weren't playing the game. You weren't even playing single player.
Yeah.
So, and let me tell you some of the other minor things here. And again, these are minor, okay? But these are still a lot of the things I was talking about in the original podcast. Now, Absog, have you checked tonight since we talked earlier? Has yours worked yet?
No.
Okay. Here's the deal.
I did read something though.
All right, well, hang on. Maybe you can share it with me. Hang on. What we're talking about, and Verdia, you may not be up to speed on this.
No, I'm not.
This is Battle Log. Battle Log is basically the EA servers that hold your stat information. It's very similar to Call of Duty and where you can go to your Call of Duty stats, especially Black Ops, okay? And this is kind of their version of Elite. Battle Log is, for the most part, what Elite's going to bring to the Call of Duty franchise and what Black Ops has kind of already done for Call of Duty. And that is give you just about every kind of possible statistic you could ever want to know, okay? More than you ever wanted to know about every gun and bullet and, your accuracy and all the crap, okay?
Right.
But Battle Log has to be, you have to tie your account to whatever platform you're playing it on. I've done this repeatedly. Absog has done this. Everybody else I know that bought the game has done this. Nobody has been able to get it to work. When I go to log into Battle Log, and this has been since day one, and this is all the way, this is now 4 days later, Battle Log it now tells me a new problem. First it said, you're not allowed to log in. That's what it says. You're just not allowed to log in. This is what I can turn my Xbox off and unplug it from the damn network, okay? I still go to Battle Log and it says, sorry, you're not allowed to log in. Now, yesterday it started saying, you must purchase Battlefield 3 to log in. I'm like, hey, I'm holding it in my hand. So anyway, Absog's had the same problem. Everybody I know so far has had the same problem, and I don't know that anybody has been able to get Battle Log to work correctly, and I know that EA has been addressing it. Now, Absog, what did you read tonight?
Now, I've got it up on my iPhone still because I was I was in the bathroom. Anyway, so I still have the page up, and I wanted to tell you about it, so I just left it there. So I just brought it back up, and obviously somebody posted, hey, is it still broken? Battle Log, is it still broken? So here's what I read. Did you register your EA account with the same email your Xbox account is registered with? So, of course, from there, I'm thinking, well, I don't know. So I go check my Xbox account. I check my Xbox Live from my PC, and I check it on my Xbox and all that stuff. I checked my EA email, and sure enough, they are different. So I don't know if that's really
nonsense.
the problem.
I didn't do that. I mean, we both registered for EA back in 2002 with Battlefield 1942. Why in the hell would we be using the exact same email from 2002 to register an Xbox account that I didn't even buy until 2006 or 7 even when I got my Xbox 360?
Yeah. Hopefully that is not the case. They have to have another way to link the account. And I don't know if that's the only problem. Maybe it has something to do with Origin having all these issues. We don't know at this point, I guess. I mean, there's so much stuff being posted. I don't really know. And I've emailed and I haven't got a response yet, so I don't know.
Well, if that's the only way, I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous because, I actually thought, well, maybe maybe it is screwed up because my Origin account, maybe my Origin account is how they're trying to decide whether I bought it or not. And since I didn't buy it on PC, they don't really know that because I never registered a serial number or anything with them.
But maybe some of the subscribers can post and correct us and maybe get us set on the right track because at this point, I don't know.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you what. I mean, let me tell you, I'm very interested in that. Any of you guys out there that have gotten Battle Log working, first of all, just tell me whether you did or didn't. And secondly, are you using the same email for your Battle Log account as your Xbox or PS3 or your PC Origin account? Are they one and the same, or have any of you out there gotten your Battle Log account to work with a separate email from Origin and the platform that you're playing the game on? Because I'm very interested in knowing that at this point. Honestly, like I think Absog, you and I were talking about how at the end of the day, what is battle log? I mean, it's really just a bunch of stats. It doesn't prevent me from, from playing the game or anything. But, it would be nice if what they promised actually worked right out of the box. And even then, if they had said somewhere on a special forum or something, hey, here's exactly what you need to do to get your battle log to tie to your account, it would be nice to know,
Yeah.
I just don't
Well,
like seeing that error message on the Xbox.
Yeah,
I just want it to go away and be right what it's supposed to be.
exactly. Yeah.
have you guys? Let me ask you guys this: have you guys played the single player yet? Because I've heard that was the game breaker when it came to like the scores and everything. They were saying the single player was full of glitches and it wasn't all it was chalked up to be.
Well,
I played about 10 minutes or maybe 15 at the most.
Mm-hmm.
But this was like opening night. I did not want to play the single player. I wanted to play multiplayer, so I wasn't in it.
Right.
I was disappointed because I couldn't play multiplayer. So I said, well, screw it. I'm just gonna go play single player. And I was like, well, I'm not enjoying it because I don't want to do this.
Right. So it wasn't necessarily that the game was
So
bad.
I'll revisit it later. I just don't want to play the single player right now. So
I haven't played it. I honestly, in fact, I don't really disagree with what Absog's saying on that. I mean, I just wasn't interested. I mean, for me, Battlefield has always been about the multiplayer. In fact, past games, they haven't even given you a single player, and in the Battlefield games. I'm not talking about Bad Company, so don't correct me down in the comments. I'm just meaning Battlefield. They never did, it was never known for its single player experience. It was an online only game. That's what it was meant for. And so it was just something that it didn't really appeal to me, especially after the reviews of the single player, just like you were saying, Veridia. I mean, they were brutal on some of the reviews about the single player. They said it was just awful. But if you remember, do you guys remember that 12-minute sequence that they released? There was a 12-minute a single player sequence they released, and there was like all this great, just unbelievable stuff. The problem apparently was they played they had somebody playing it, but the camera was more cinematic. They actually had a camera that they were manipulating to put out that 12-minute trailer back in I think it was like early summer, maybe late spring. And it was a huge deal. Everybody went gaga over it, going, "Oh my God, this is going to be amazing!" And even I talked about it. I was like, "Holy cow, this is amazing!"
Yeah, that looked pretty good.
But get this, they cheated, and they even came out and said this. They were talking about this over at Kotaku. They cheated and made that whole trailer through some kind of manipulative camera that they had in the game, where they could manipulate the game engine to make those moments look and feel more cinematic for the trailer, for promotional purposes. This is not what the actual gameplay during those segments look like. But
Wow.
apparently, this is the same thing they did with the tank sequence when they released that massive tank trailer. That again, it hit the web and took the internet by storm. It was amazing. It looked great. That is not what the gameplay looks like. Again, I'm going by from what I read. Feel free to come correct me down in the comments and say that I'm absolutely out of my mind. But I'm going by what I read, that they doctored those sequences very heavily for promotional purposes to make the game feel more cinematic, and that was straight from the publisher and the developer. This is not some guy with After Effects over here fixing the video. This is actually changing the viewpoint of the gamer's perspective to make the game look and feel like a bigger Hollywood style blockbuster instead of the straightforward, simple, stuck first-person shooter camera view that you normally get in the game. So,
Right. Well, that's a shame.
yeah.
I tell you what, I'm not 100% sure, but when Killzone 2 put that trailer out, back, when
2 or 3?
2.
Okay, 2. All right.
And you were just blown away. I'll tell you what, it was pretty damn close when the actual game came out, and it was like, wow, it was pretty close to what that trailer showed, to me anyway. You first look at it, you do realize that they did that thing with the camera angles and made it look a little bit better, but it still felt awesome.
Right.
So it's kind of disappointing that they use these tricks,
Exactly, yeah.
That's just really. I mean, how? I don't get it. So they came out and said they were doing it, right?
Oh yeah,
You said?
absolutely. Yeah, they actually said that. I'll if I can go find the source again. They talked about it in several interviews. I'll put the source down in the description if I can, and show you guys kind of what I'm talking about. And they actually talked about being able to manipulate the camera in the game for the angles. They actually had somebody directing how they wanted the trailers to come across, and it was particularly jarring apparently during the melee segment. You go down into a basement to try to. This is in a 12-minute trailer. You go into a basement and a guy comes down there and an enemy comes down there and you get into a melee fight with him and you punch and kick and all this other stuff. The camera, they made the camera look and feel like your head is kind of bobbing around as you're in the fight. That was all like, that was all like nonsense. This is in the game again. Your camera is stuck on your character's head area, and it does not bob around and have all these fluid movements and all that. It is stuck. Okay, I mean it is stuck and it is moving, obviously, with your character, but it is not doing this bobbing around to give you that first person feel of like a Hollywood movie or something. So
Right.
but this is not uncommon. I'm not picking on Battlefield here, but the thing is, this is not uncommon in all game trailers. They do this. Call of Duty does it. I'm sure. I haven't seen that. I don't know. Their trailers are much more gameplay oriented for the multiplayer. I think the single player, I think they do something very, very similar to what Battlefield does. This is not uncommon. I'm not picking on Battlefield. However, what I'm saying about Battlefield single player game is that the reviewers have been extremely brutal on it. I have not played it. I don't know enough about the single player, but based on what I've read, based on my general franchise love of Battlefield, I probably will not be playing it all the way through if I do play it at all. I'll probably give it a
Yeah.
shot at some point, but
Well, that's interesting. I'll definitely pick it up and play it. I did enjoy the Bad Company games. I know you didn't very well, but I did. I did enjoy the
the second
games.
one was okay. I actually enjoyed. I had moments where I enjoyed the second one, but honestly, I had the same problem with the second one that I've got with the new one. Is that and that is the feel of the game isn't quite as concrete as I like. But the bigger problem is the lack of teammates that I could work with and play, live all the time with. Again, it is so geared towards team play. You just cannot jump in for fun and play as a lone wolf and have a good time. At least to me, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I agree. Well, I mean, other than that, I mean, I guess leave us a comment. Tell us about your experience with Battlefield 3. Hopefully next week you'll have a more, maybe you'll play some of the single player a little bit more.
Yeah, well, yeah, Absog, you tell me about it when you go play it, and you tell me if it's awesome. So,
I tell you what, until, I'm really, I'm thinking about getting Uncharted 3 because like.
I am going to get it. In fact, I've just been on such a roll of bad games here recently. I'm going to get. I think I'm going to get Uncharted just because I love that franchise so much.
Yeah,
I'm going to go.
and you know that it's not a bad game.
I
You know
know
it's not gonna
exactly.
be. And the thing is that I told myself 3 games, but damn it,
I know.
Dark Souls. I literally completed. I mean, I'm a completionist with that game. It's done. Like 130 hours and it's done. So I've done everything I can in that. Pretty much, I can go back and play it over and over. But like, man, I have a bad feeling that if I don't pick this up and play it, it's going to be ruined for me pretty quick.
Yeah.
With all these, I mean, there's already a damn walkthrough online.
Yep. I agree.
So I feel like I might have to do that. As far as games coming out, guys, you understand we're going to have a lot to talk about coming up.
Oh yeah.
We're going to have Skyrim, which is probably going to be, in my opinion, probably going to be the biggest game of the year. If you go to IGN right now, I'm not lying. Go to any game, any video of theirs talking about Modern Warfare or Battlefield, and the top comment will be something about Skyrim. I'm not lying. They're like, what is this game? Oh, you guys meant to talk about Skyrim. I mean, every single comment. That is going to be the game of the year. I guarantee you, hands down, it will be the biggest game, bigger than Modern Warfare. If not bigger, if not selling more copies, I guarantee you more people are going to care about it. So I cannot wait to get my hands on that and talk about it.
Well, let's talk for a minute, though. You do say it's going to be the biggest game or whatever, but let's talk about what do you really think will be the biggest financial seller of 2011? What do
the
you think?
biggest financial seller will be Modern Warfare 3, hands down.
See, I agree, but I'm questioning that. I mean, what do you think? I mean, do you really?
Well,
Who do you think is going to give them a run for their money this year?
Skyrim. If anybody can, it's Skyrim. The thing is, I know Battlefield 3 is a big thing. Don't even bitch at me about this, people. I know Battlefield 3 is a big deal, but
It's huge.
The thing is, honestly, there are people that I know in real life, okay? They are not gamers. They will come out of the woodworks, and I will see them standing in line at midnight just twiddling their fingers going, okay, I'm getting Modern Warfare 3.
It's true.
I can call any of them right now and say, hey, have you played Battlefield? I guarantee you 70 to 80% of them will not even know what the heck I'm talking about.
I agree.
And these are the people that are going to make Modern Warfare 3 bigger than Battlefield. The people that have heard about it through friends, they're not hardcore gamers, but because their friend had it, they played it, they got hooked on it, they're not looking for another experience, they want the exact same thing. I'll tell you right now, my friend John, he got a PS3. I let him borrow Black Ops. Boom, the dude will be there at midnight to buy Modern Warfare 3. He doesn't even know about Battlefield.
Do you know, I know people that actually have one game, and that is Call of Duty.
Yep.
And they basically look at it as a yearly upgrade at this point. They buy the new one. They don't buy any other games. Like, they're not even interested. They have no interest. They buy Call of Duty. They play it all year long. And then that's it. And then, when the new one comes out, they're interested.
Couldn't do that. I don't care how much I like the game.
I can't. I'm on the same page, man. I can't do it. I can play it a lot, but I can't just play one game. I'm actually the exact opposite. I can't play one game for too long. I have to have 2 or 3 games going at the same time to keep.
That's for me. That's the same thing for me. I've got. I mean, like right now. I mean, I've actually still got a live game going in Mass Effect. I've got a live game going for Gears of War 3 now. I've got the Rage is still unfinished. I still play it a little bit every night.
Right.
I can't believe that. And now, of course, I've got Battlefield 3 set in front of me. And then I picked up Duke Nukem Forever on a deal I haven't even opened yet. And then I picked up Force Unleashed 2 on a deal I hadn't even opened yet. So again, these are all single-player experiences. I've got 3 or 4 of them right now going live that I can choose to play at any given moment. I just pick right where I left off. But if I'm really feeling like I need to go shoot somebody, I get into Modern Warfare 2 or I get into Battlefield 3, go play it for a little while, have a good time, and then I'll take a break. Sometimes I'll go a couple of days and not play a game at all. But then again, I've got a lot going on in my in my life. But
yeah, no, I get you there. And other than the only, honestly, I have to tell you, like, I thought about it a little bit. Even though I say that Battlefield won't be the one giving Modern Warfare 3 a run for its money, I have to say Skyrim again is kind of the same way. A lot of people don't know about it.
Yeah.
And that's what I say. It may not beat it out, but you know what? It will be talked about more because the people who are enthusiasts of Skyrim, man, they will fill YouTube up. I guarantee you 100% there will be just a crap ton.
Yeah.
Of,
I heard Skyrim. I really hadn't even given it a thought. I didn't even know what that game was until I listened to Viridia talk about it. Actually,
yeah.
Honestly, I didn't know what it was, and I didn't even realize it was something that was part of
Morrowind,
Right,
and Oblivion and all that. And honestly, I didn't care for Oblivion, but my experience was on the PC, and the controls were really bad.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what my problem was with it.
Well,
but
I never played it on PC, but I'm gonna tell you right now, there's not a thing wrong with the Oblivion. Like, that's just one of those games where it's just like there really is not a negative in my opinion. Like I can't go through that game and say, oh God, I hate this part. It's just like if I go back through it, I'm finding crap I never noticed before.
Yeah.
And
now, Skyrim looks like something I can really get into, though.
Yeah, well, Skyrim, it's a lot the same, but like they've just taken Oblivion and they're like, okay, let's just make this a whole hell of a lot better. Now, one thing that I really was upset about in Oblivion was that there were no dragons in a fantasy universe, and now what have they added? That's like their main focus, dragons. Yes. I mean, to be able to just imagine, close your eyes for a second, if you will, and imagine walking across the plains of Skyrim, and you see like 3 orcs coming over the hill, and you freaking do a yell, and all of a sudden a dragon comes over the hill, and he's breathing fire down on him. That to me is like insane. Then I actually watched the gameplay of this happening, and it was just like it was in my mind. Normally when you're picturing it in your head, it's so much better. But dude, it looks so cool. And this guy was fighting a dragon. He called his other dragon. It was like Pokemon. He called his other dragon out. Go! And like boom, they start fighting, and it was just it was so epic. And that tied in with the lore of the game, with the amount of dialogue I know they're adding, with the amount of side quests, with the amount of items, everything mixed in. This game is going to be epic. And I stand by my 2 games of the year are still going to be Dark Souls or Oblivion. But with Dark Souls, it's linear. It's way more linear than Oblivion. Oblivion literally gives you that full reign. You can do whatever you want, whenever you want. You can go anywhere. You can do all that crap. So those are normally the type of games I lean toward, even though Dark Souls is a very close second. Unless I put Skyrim in and I'm just like, wow, what did they do? And that's going to crush my soul. And I
hope it's good, because I'm going to have to blame you if it's not.
Great.
I sit here and I hype these games, and then I'm like, if this game turns out to be total shit, people are going to hate me. I was right. I was right with Dark Souls. I mean, it's a masterpiece, And then people are just going to jump all over me about Skyrim. It's like, you son of a bitch. What was I to expect? Every game that's come out in the Elder Scrolls line has been genius, So I don't know. That's the only game I can see giving Modern Warfare 3 a run for its money. I mean, is Battlefield doing that well?
I don't think it is. I looked at some sales stats, and they were not they were not up to expectations. Now this was on launch day, and of course this is not based on pre-order, because the pre-order sales did actually exceed their expectations. But then again, after the beta, there was quite a few cancellations.
Yeah.
In fact, there was I think there was. Good Lord. If I remember correctly, I think they at one point headed up to 60,000 cancellations.
It's all Anakinn's fault.
Yeah, everybody who listened to the podcast was like, with Anakinnnn, cancel.
And then we turned out and we went ahead and got it anyway.
Yeah, then I bought the damn thing. Jesus.
What a sellout.
I know. So
well,
anyway.
I didn't mention another game that might give it a run. I mean, a close run. Evidently, Arkham City is doing excellent.
Yeah, I forgot. This is unbelievable. That I don't even know what to make of this. Okay, here's the deal: superhero games generally, we all know superhero games generally suck. Okay, the most of the games that are based around a known intellectual property, either a movie tie-in or a comic book tie-in or whatever. These are generally the clearance games, okay? Games really thrive on original IPs within the gaming industry, not from generally from somewhere else. So anytime you take a known IP and you throw it into gaming, everybody almost always just goes, "Oh God." And last year, or I guess it was 2 years ago now, when Arkham Asylum came out, it just it just floored everybody, because everybody was like, "Holy crap, this is freaking awesome!"
Yeah,
best Xbox 360 game ever.
Yeah,
I love it.
So that's true. Absog absolutely loved it.
I did too.
I was blown away by it. I certainly, I'm telling you, I was blown away by it. But I thought, okay, they're not going to capture lightning in a bottle twice here. I mean, Arkham City, they're basically just going to use the same game engine, fix up the art a little bit, add some other characters that are iconic in the Batman universe, and they're going to call it a day. Well, apparently, either that's all they needed, or that wasn't even remotely what they did, and they just went one step further. I have not bought the second one, but from what I understand, the reviews are absolutely through the roof, and I have not heard a bad thing yet.
No, it is quite insanely good. I've seen people playing it. I've been I haven't spoiled it for myself because I want to play it myself.
Same for me.
But Walmart had an awesome deal going where
they had both.
Yeah, you could buy for the price of the new game, you got the Arkham Asylum as well.
Yep.
And that was just
That's a
brilliant.
great deal. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Because obviously they've probably got plenty of stock of the old one. The old one's 2 years old now. Most likely people are going to be interested in the new one. They're going to buy the new one. Obviously, then what's even worse is the old one. They're going to have multiple stock of the old one. People aren't going to pick it up. They're probably selling it now for $15 anyway. What a
Mhm.
brilliant idea to throw it in there as their catch to go get you to buy it from them. I mean, I thought it was a brilliant move, and I think it's a great thing for gamers.
Oh
Especially
yeah.
if you did not check out the first one. That's the prime deal, and at least in the U.S., is to go to Walmart and pick up both.
Yeah, it's awesome. I absolutely love it. And even if you own Arkham Asylum, you could go and sell your copy of Arkham Asylum and then put that toward the new game and still get your game back. It's
True.
so yeah, it was an awesome deal. I mean, it's kind of like you have to buy it anyway just for the good deal, and then it ends up being an epic game. So
Absolutely.
yeah, once I play that, we'll talk about it. A buddy of mine is playing through it right now, so I'll have a good idea, and then I'll just borrow it from him.
I want to make
But,
Absog buy it, and then I'm going to borrow it from him.
There's a lot of games to play right now.
I
Yeah,
know,
tell me
man.
about it.
I can't believe there's so many coming out. Like I'm really upset that I'm gonna be passing some of these up, like the Assassin's Creed and.
Oh yeah, I know.
I know. I may have to pass that one too, and I don't want to.
They're being lost, man. They're being lost in the shuffle. There's just not enough hours in the day.
Exactly. There's just not enough, and so it's so sad that they all have to come out at this time because. I keep thinking, why don't they just wait until December or after Christmas when all these kids have the money?
I know.
Have tons of cash just flowing. Hey, I got like $15,000 from my aunt, and shit, they can just buy it then. But I mean, your opening day would be way better.
Yep, absolutely.
But I don't know. But
well, Mass Effect 3 did it good though. They pushed it.
They
probably needed to move it anyway, but still. I'm glad it did get moved.
Yeah, I agree. Could you imagine if Mass Effect
was?
Could you imagine if that came out right now too?
Yeah, that would be just horrible. I would cry about that. I'll tell you what, if Fallout or Far Cry 3 came out oh my god.
Oh yeah, it'd be insane. It'd be insane.
Because personally, for me, that's like one of those games you just don't pass up, and I don't know.
well, let me tell you what I did pick up this week, which is absolutely sad. They had a deal on it. I can't buy a game without a deal. But anyway, they had a deal over at Amazon. Once again, me and my wife had an absolute blast with this last night. I picked up Dance Central 2.
I saw you playing that.
They give you a free code inside to export all your songs from Dance Central. Now this is a Kinect game, okay? The Kinect has not come out with hardly any games that featured two simultaneous players. There's very few of them, okay? Dance Central 2 is made by Harmonix, who makes the Rock Band series, and these guys really know how to polish up a game before it goes to market. And Dance Central 2 is no slouch at all. I mean, this is it's a solid game. It's cheesy, but let me tell you, it is an absolute blast. I don't dance, but let me tell you, when me and my wife set it up in the living room last night, and I exported all the songs from the original one, we got it set up. I set the Kinect up, got everything going, and me and my wife sat there for like 3 hours dancing these songs. And I mean, this stuff is freaking hard, okay? It is hard. I'm looking like a flailing octopus in front of my TV trying to figure out what moves they want me to do. And my wife's over there. She's got it all going on, and she's all, doing the moves, and she's like, okay, I'm in. And, I see on her side, it's like, flawless. And I'm like, screw you!
You go right to hell!
So anyway, she is kicking my ass at it right now. But it was a blast, and I'm planning on doing. I still haven't gotten her completely talked into it, but I'm planning on doing a video in my kind of in my Rock Band video style, where I've got the TV showing the Dance Central characters and everything, and then her and I on the green screen doing the Dance Central battles. And so you guys might actually be able to see Anakin look like a complete and utter moron, more than normal. And you'll be able to see my wonderful wife doing her fancy dance moves. So that will be coming up.
I would love to see that.
I'm telling you, oh God, it's going to be the worst thing ever. But anyway, beyond Dance Central 2, okay, that was something I did this week. But I did want to cover, especially for all three of us, because we can all talk about this, before we finish up the cast this week. This is very important. We haven't talked really about Modern Warfare 3 in numerous weeks, and there has been a ton of new information out.
Well, I don't know anything about it, though.
Oh, this is, man, let me tell you, there's a biggie. And in fact, I'm going to give a shout out to my boy Chris, who's also known as Big Dog V65 on Xbox Live.
Big
Um,
dog.
he is he's the one that brought this to my attention, and I really am embarrassed that he knew about it and was trying to convince me about this. And I actually told him he was wrong, and he was
Oh.
like, "No, dude, you're out of it. You this is going on." And I'm like, "There's no way they could know that they are wrong." So anyway, he sends me a video link, and he's like, "Here you go, bitch." And I was like, "All right." So I checked it out, and I'm like, "Holy crap!" So here's the deal. Modern Warfare 3 Prestige Shop tokens. Do you guys know about this?
No.
Okay. Absog, you know?
Well, yeah, because we talked about it, but yeah.
Oh, that's right. I told you about it after he told me about it, and I told him he was full of it. But I have to give a public apology to him and say, "All right, man, you're the man. Here's the deal. Here's what he turned me on to. This is very interesting. For your previous Call of Duty experiences, they are going to reward the hardcore, long-term loyalist players of Call of Duty. Here's the deal. Verdi, you started on 4, right?
Yeah.
And you have played
That's where
them
I
all
started.
on. See, I actually played them all the way from the very, very beginning on PC. I started with Call of Duty 1. Okay, so they're not rewarding me all the way that far back, but they are rewarding people from 4 forward. Now, Absog, you started on Xbox with 4, right?
Right.
With me, because you and I both bought it. We both started 4 on a console.
I think I played some of the others on PC, but man, honestly, I don't remember. I probably didn't play them very long.
Now, Verdi, you started on PS3, right?
No. I've always been on Xbox.
For Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, have you guys both played 4 WA MW2 Black Ops? All
Yep.
4 on the Xbox?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Now let me ask you this. Have you prestiged at least once in each of those games?
No, hell no.
I'm not sure about 4 and WA because
I
don't
didn't prestige in World at War. I never even got to the max level in that one. And I never prestiged in Black Ops. I could go do it right now, though.
Here's why you should.
I did in Black Ops and Modern Warfare 2, of course.
Mhm.
Okay, so here's why. Okay, audience, if you guys are not up on this, okay, if you have gotten to whatever the end level is for whatever these games, it was 50, 55, 60, 65, I think, whatever they all were, okay, now is the time you need to do this before Modern Warfare 3 hits. Here's why. For every game from Call of Duty 4 forward, as long as you have kept it under the same gamer tag and you register Modern Warfare 3, or not register, but as long as you play Modern Warfare 3 on your current gamer tag that has all of these gamer tag achievements or multiplayer stats tied to it, you will get prestige tokens, 1 per game, as long as you have prestiged and played 1 game past. 1 game, not 1 level, just 1 game to basically activate the secondary prestige. Just by hitting prestige, it does not take effect, at least statistically, until you start and launch the first game of the new prestige. You have to do that, okay? So here's what you get. I'm actually going to get 4 tokens the moment I put in Modern Warfare 3. I have actually prestiged multiple times in every single Call of Duty game. So, and they're all under my Anakinnnn account, all on Xbox. So I am getting the maximum amount of loyalty bonus, if you will, from Infinity Ward here. And here's some of the things that you get to do. You get to purchase Prestige Shop rewards.
Oh my god.
Okay, so get this. First of all, when you first put Modern Warfare 3 in, you can choose. I don't know the number of tokens that each one of these takes. I believe each one of these takes 1 token. Okay, that may change. So here we go. Here's the Prestige Shop rewards. You can choose right off the bat extra custom class. Okay.
So straight up, you can get another customized class.
Just like that. Boom. Put the game in. I want a custom class right now.
Wow.
Double XP for 2 hours of game time.
Oh my god.
Double weapon XP. So if you prefer a very specific weapon or something, or you want to level that particular weapon up to unlock things, you can actually turn on that weapon's double XP. For the entire prestige, by the way. This is prestige full, meaning like, some of these are even longer than that. Like the extra custom class, you just unlock it immediately and you just get it. I mean, there's something called regular package. I don't know what that means. I forget what they talked about it, and I forget right now what it means. Another one, this is very interesting, unlock gear. And that basically means you can take a gun, a very specific gun or a piece of equipment, with you to the next prestige that doesn't get relocked.
Oh, that's awesome. I like that.
So, for example, I like Modern Warfare 2, I would have unlocked forever the TAR 21.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
I would have never had that locked again, and I would have prestige forever, and I would have chosen that gun every time. Another one is, oh, no, hang on. Okay, regular package, they have hardened package, and veteran package. Now, I don't know. I think that may have something to do with the kill streaks, or it may have something to do with a certain gear setup. I'm not 100% on that. But anyway, each one of those packages you can unlock. And again, I'm not 100% on what each one of those is, okay? But one of the last things, which actually seems kind of crazy, is reset all stats. I don't know why you would want to do that unless you've actually prestiged, the entire way, and you still want more. I guess you could choose to reset.
Or maybe if your little cousin comes over and messes up your KD.
Maybe. But in this, the rank now to prestige is rank 80, which is absolutely ludicrous. And every time you prestige in Modern Warfare 3, you actually get more tokens. So, anybody who has prestiged already in the 4 previous games, you start off with 4 tokens. You play through, you get all, you unlock what you want there. You play through Modern Warfare 3, you prestige again, you get a new token. Now that means you can unlock, something there. And apparently each one of these, they give you 8, and you can actually get up to 8 prestige tokens in Modern Warfare 3. So I believe that when you unlock one of these, it's forever. You get it forever, and it's done. And obviously they give you 8 because if you've never owned a Call of Duty game before, you can prestige, I believe, 8 times to level 80 in the new game. It may even be more than that, but I believe it is 8 times. And so obviously the last time you prestige, you'd be able to unlock all of the prestige shop rewards. Right. So I think that is really a cool way to go about it. And of course, for me, and I'm sure most of my audience, which is really built around the Call of Duty franchise more than anything else, I'm sure most of my audience is going to probably have 4 tokens right off the bat themselves, especially for a lot of those guys that have been playing Modern Warfare for quite some time. So I'm pretty psyched about it. What do you guys think about that?
That is pretty neat. I do like that. At least they're giving a freaking reward for prestiging.
Exactly.
Yeah, not like before when oh wow, I got another character slot.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like that was not a reward. I'm sorry.
No, that was ridiculous.
I don't even need 5 custom slots. I could use 2 and be all right personally. Yeah. But I was looking for something like that. That to me shows a very big improvement over the past 4 games. That is something that they should do. It's like, okay, it's not being recycled. They have actually added something new that is going to be useful to the game.
Exactly.
That is going to encourage something that to me up until then has been just a complete waste of time. I enjoy every now and then putting a new game, an old game in and playing it again, but that's pretty much what you're doing. You're playing the same damn game, but you're handicapping yourself every like 20 hours,
Right.
That just is boring to me. I don't find any challenge in having to redo every single thing I've done 10 times in a row and then thinking I've got some kind of a big dick because I got a purple or a golden cross by my name or some shit.
But by the way, I have to correct myself. I did look it up just now just to make sure, and there are 10 levels of prestige. But you can get, I guess you can get 10 tokens. Some of the ones that are not resettable or whatever, like the double XP of 2 hours in game time, that is something you can obviously just keep re-upping if you want to. The other stuff is, the packages, by the way, those are call sign titles and emblems. And, there's apparently regular, hardened, and veteran, and each one is going to have different looks and different things available. So that'll kind of be, again, something that was more like they were doing in the Modern Warfare 2, where it really was kind of just a badge of honor, like, oh, look at me, a prestige. You can only get this title if you prestige 3 times or whatever. That's apparently what those packages are for. Some people who want to kind of brag visually to their players, to show that they have the veteran package or whatever, they'll probably choose those kinds of things first. Extra custom class will probably be mine. I'll be choosing that pretty quickly because I'm going to want early on in this game. I'm going to want to set up a lot of different classes, a lot of different weapons. I'm going to be trying a lot of different things. So,
yeah, for sure.
But anyway, I just thought that was again some new info that was very different than anything we've seen from Call of Duty so far.
Yeah.
And again, it does, it hasn't really been highly publicized that much. It's out there, and I'm sure a lot of people, it may be old news too, but to me, it was new. I was kind of like, hey, all right, something new to get excited about, and I want to share that with everybody here. So.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm psyched, and I haven't been excited for a COD game. I was excited for Black Ops, but it was immediately turned off as soon as I put the game in.
Me too.
So I'm excited to be able to hopefully put this game in and be excited for shit months.
I hope, yeah. I mean, and speaking of, we'll wrap up the podcast here. But speaking of, let me tell you, I do want to talk about one game since Absog is here before we sign out. If Call of Duty turns into if Modern Warfare 3 turns into a train wreck, I don't believe it will. Okay, I didn't believe Battlefield 3 would either. But if Call of Duty kind of leaves me a little flat, and this is actually, it could for various reasons. One, they could come in and it could just be a train wreck. The launch could be a mess. I mean, remember, we've talked about this, Viridia. This is Sledgehammer Games and basically a new incarnation of Infinity Ward.
Right.
There really is a high possibility here that the game could be a train wreck on launch. These are unproven people working on this game. And, there's 2 ways this could go. Well, there's actually 3 ways it could go. 2 will be disappointing to me. One is they launch it and it's an absolute train wreck and everything's not working. Servers are crashing. Parties don't work. The game system is messed up. Stats are screwed up. Elite is messed up. Who knows? Okay, that could be one. It could be very similar to, almost like a Battlefield 3 demo kind of launch or a beta launch. But here's what it could be on the opposite extreme. It could come out and it really could be Modern Warfare 2.5. Now, I've said before that wouldn't be that bad, in my opinion, honestly. I love Modern Warfare 2. I wouldn't mind even 2.5, but I'm not going to be very happy about 2.5 for $60. If it's just some new maps and the game feels and looks and plays exactly the same, and there's only a couple of minor perks that are different now, and there's really just, I mean, if I play it for a week and it just feels like I'm playing Modern Warfare 2 again after a week, just with different maps and some slightly different modifications to the way the game works, I may get tired of it very quickly. So I'm a little worried about that. The only way that I think it's just going to be absolutely phenomenal is if it really does fall right in the middle. And that is where they go beyond Modern Warfare 2.5 and they really do evolve the game a little further, and they give you a lot of new things to look forward to, new game modes, some new ideas. I'm really looking forward to it being just a little bit more than 2.5, but not so far that they alienate people or go too far to where everything starts falling apart, which is, I think, kind of what happened with Battlefield 3 and how they were rushing it to get it to market before Modern Warfare 3. So, I mean, there is a possibility here that I could lose some interest over a month or so. And Absog, tell them what we might do.
Let's hear it.
Absog?
Yeah.
He's like, sorry.
He's like, oh man, I wasn't gonna tell anybody.
This was our secret, you jerk.
Okay, so tell them what we might do if I lose interest in Modern Warfare 3.
Myself and another mutual friend of ours is really trying to get Anakin to jump on board for his first MMO ever, which is, of course, is Star Wars, the Old Republic. Naturally.
Sweater, as they call it.
There's really no reason for him not to. He's never been involved in one. He's never really shown any interest in it. But you know what? He's playing Mass Effect 2. I mean, that counts for something. That's kind of he's heading in a different direction than he's ever has before. So I think he's ready for that leap, and he needs to try it out at least. So
I'm ready for the MMO leap. Bridia, come on, are you with me?
I don't know if anybody is ready for the leap per se. I think it might be a I don't know. It might be a curse. It might be like an addiction. I mean, you're pulling him in. It's like saying, okay, Anakin, you've never smoked a cigarette. Now, if Modern Warfare 3 is a disappointment, I'm going to buy you a carton, and you're going to smoke the whole thing, and you're going to love them. And by the end of it, you're going to be addicted. I mean, that's the way I see him. I'm sorry.
I am a little worried about it because let me tell you, Absog is basically it's close to an addict as you can get for MMOs. You have the other mutual friend that we're discussing, him and his wife are even more MMO addicts than Absog here. They live and breathe it. Okay, they are in the zone. Okay, they play MMOs like it is their second job, and they will admit it. Okay, so I've got these people, just almost like what you're saying. I've got crack dealers who are over here who are addicted to their own crack, saying, "Come on, you want some."
Exactly. No, I totally agree. I've seen it, and I've said this before. I've seen it so many times where friends of mine they'll get going, and I've got a friend right now who has quit. He's quit playing World of Warcraft at least 6 times.
Oh, Absog, tell him how many times you've quit.
It's only been 4 for me.
Come on.
But you know what? I've gone back on every expansion. I'm out on pandas. I'm out.
Okay.
I'm not doing it.
Speaking of pandas,
I'm not doing it.
My cousin, who is just like you, man, he's like quit, and then every time an expansion comes out, he's in. He posted a Facebook post. He said, he's like, I admit it. I am an addict, but the pandas have ruined it. And I said, I wrote him back. And this was in literally 10 minutes. I said, that's bullshit. You go back. The cuddly little pandas are going to pull you in. And I shit you not. He said, never mind. I've already made the decision that I am going back because I'm getting Diablo 3 with it free or something like that.
Exactly. I heard that's what they were doing.
I'm not doing it.
They want to give you the extra crack. Now it's like, okay, well now you were addicted to heroin, but we're actually going to give you some meth with your next purchase of heroin. We know you don't want to do heroin anymore, but we're going to give you that added meth, okay? So It's like, my God, they know they screwed up when they released pandas. And what are they going to do? They're going to be like, hey, God, there's so many people not liking the panda thing. What do we do? Oh, I know. Let's give them the other game that's like crack that we can addict them to. We'll give it to them for free because they're going to have to spend money in there. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, and you have to sign up for a year.
Exactly.
So why wouldn't you play?
Exactly. I threw all that money away anyway. Shoot, I might as well play.
Oh, hey, the pandas aren't that bad.
You know it's going to happen.
They're like the interracial bear.
They do have some interesting things that they're going to do with it, but honestly, I've already told myself I was out anyway.
I think they're barely going to get played.
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
Jesus.
Well,
I think it's going to be universally panded.
Oh God.
Before this becomes more.
You're only thinking in black and white.
Stop it, dude. What the hell are you doing? You're encouraging the best. All right.
Oh, you have no idea.
All right. Okay. Anyway,
I know things.
Absog, I want to thank you so much for being on the cast.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Hey, no problem, man. You definitely brought this one to life. I have no idea what Battlefield's about. Hopefully we can see you back on here again sometime.
Star Wars will be coming up, so if I'll be reading a whole lot more about it. I've kind of let it go for right now because it's built up too much. So I'm kind of forgetting about it until it gets a little closer.
Yeah, when it launches, we'll have to bring you on as the resident expert because
but I'll be reading all about it. So in starting December, I'll be nothing but reading the forums and
nice.
I'll know everything. So
that'll be good because I know a lot of people want to hear about it. So that'll be good. But guys, I think that concludes another episode of Down the Scope. Number 38.
38.
Woo!
Indeed.
So that'll be neat to get we've almost been at it a year.
Yeah. Good Lord.
Guys, thanks a lot for watching. Thank you for the comments. If you guys are hard scopers, which I know you're out there, I get messages every day from people saying, hey, I'm a hard scoper. We really do appreciate that. We appreciate all your emails. And if you have an email to send us, send it to podcastdownthescope at gmail.com. And we will get we will get to reading that. We did have a few this week, but we had the Battlefield thing to talk about. One thing I want to thank somebody. He sent in an email. It was a good email, but it was about religion, guys. We don't talk about religion on the podcast, so just wanted to point that out there. Thanks for your email, man, but we cannot talk about it on the cast.
Indeed.
In any case, any final thoughts?
Nothing for me. Nothing for me. Thanks, Absog, for being here. I really do appreciate it as well. And Viridia, sign us out.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching so much. Thanks, Absog. And we will see you guys here next week for Down the Scope episode 39.
All right. See you later.
See you.
Bye.